Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Lulu Suryani from 5th semester of English Department, STKIP PGRI Bangkalan. And today I would like to talk about using visual media in teaching speaking. Definition of teaching media. Teaching media are tools which are provided and both into classroom by teacher to facilitate teaching learning process. Those teaching media are expected to help teacher present the lesson more clearly and interesting so that it can be followed by the students. So it can conclude that media are everything that can help teacher to deliver the lesson or message to the students or receiver to make the lesson clearer and easier to understand and absorb by the students so that they get more interested to participate in learning activity. Function of media. First is media can attract students' attention more so that it can stimulate their learning motivation. Second is media can make subject matter clearer and more meaningful so that it is clearly understood by the students and enable them to master the expected competence better. Third is it can make learning method more various, not merely verbal communication through teachers' words, so that students does not get bored and the teacher does not run out of energy. The fourth is media can make students do more learning activities because they do not only listen to the teacher's explanation but also have other activities such as observing, demonstrating, and so on. And next is kind of English teaching media. There are three kinds of English teaching media. The first is visual media. Visual aid in visual instructional concept is every picture, model, object, or other tool which give real virtual experience to the students. There are four types of visual media. That is printer media. This media includes English textbooks, magazine, newspaper, journal, bulletins, and dictionary. The use of this media in English teaching is necessary and meaningful because it can help learners to get more knowledge and information through reading widely and provide more enjoyment from various sources of facts. The second is realia. Realia are real objects which can be both into the classroom in teaching media. There are many kind of realia. Some kind of them are as follows, such as big calendar, puzzle or game, menu of restaurant, big map or globe, and hand puppet. The third is overhead transparency or OHT and LCD projector. The use of this media enable a teacher to write or describe or explain something to the students. In English learning, this media can be used to present video and pictures. The second kind of English teaching media is audio media. These media include radio, tape recorder, MP3, MP4, etc. Audio media is instructional media that have function to help students learning through produced voice. By the produced voice, students can identify the intonation and pronunciation without live presence of native speakers. And the third kind of English teaching media is audio-visual media. Audio-visual are media which can be seen and heard such as television and film. The students can be easy to understand the facial impressions, gestures, physical background shown, and learning becomes closer to real-life situations. These media include film, TV program, recorded both picture and voice on video CD. And the next point is about how to choose the instructional media. Before deciding to choose the instructional media to be employed, the teacher must be really selective and consider some factors, such as practically. To provide and prepare the instructional media, sometimes the teacher encountered difficulties, so that the teacher should think and look for the practical media which are easily available in the school. Besides, the teacher should the practically to bring and use them. And then students' characteristics. The students in the classroom are different, so that it's important for the teacher to consider whether or not the media to be used are appropriate in light of the students' characteristics. And next one is instructional activities. Many kind of instructional activities which could be designed by the teacher in order not to make students bored in following the activities. Therefore, different activities must be aided by different instructional media in order that the activities are varied and interesting to follow. And next is about the principles for teaching speaking English. There are some principles for teaching speaking English, such as focus on both fluency and accuracy depending on the objective. Second, provide intrinsically motivating techniques. And the third is provide appropriate feedback and correction. Basically, teaching of speaking should be oriented to practice the student able to speak. This principle is expected to be the main reference in planning and implementing the activity of speaking. Besides, the other principle that need attention is how teaching of speaking is managed. Thus, teaching of speaking will be succeed as we expected. Next is about types of classroom speaking performance. There are imitative. Imitation of this kind is carried out not for the purpose of meaningful interaction, but for focusing on some particular element of language form. And second is intensive. Intensive speaking goes one step beyond imitative to include any speaking performance that is designed to practice some phonological aspect of language. Third is responsive. A good deal of student speech in the classroom is responsive. Short replies to teacher or student initiated questions or comments. Fourth is transactional or dialogue. Transactional language carried out for the purpose of conveying or enhancing specific information is an extended form of responsive language. Fifth is interpersonal or dialogue. It is carried out more for the purpose of maintaining social relationship than for the transmission of facts and information. And the last is extensive or monologue. Finally, students are intermediate to advanced level are called on to give extended monologues in the form of oral reports, summaries, or perhaps short speeches. And last point is about classroom speaking activities. Speaking class is expected to be not monotone in order that the students with different learning styles and strategies can have the same change to participate in learning activities. Some classroom learning activities such as acting from a script. In this activity, students are asked to act out scenes or play from their course books. There are two kinds of acting from a script, namely play scripts. Students should consider it as a real acting and the teacher as if he was a theater director and acting out dialogue. Students come out to the front of the class to play a role based on the dialogue which has been written by themselves. Second is communication games. There are a lot kind of them, such as information gasp games. One student has to talk to a partner in order to solve puzzle, guessing description, etc. They can be used in speaking class to make students enjoy learning. Third is discussion. At this stage, the students are divided into some groups, then the teacher can provide a topic to be discussed by the students as unplanned or planned discussion. Fourth is questionnaires. Questionnaires are very useful for speaking class because both questioner and respondent have something to say to each other. Student can design questionnaires on any topic that is appropriate. Fifth is prepared talk. For these activities, students find their own partner and make a presentation on a topic of their own choices. This talk should not be informal, spontaneous conversation because they have prepared it. And the last one is simulation and role play. Many students derive a great benefit from simulation and role play. Students simulate a real life encounter, such as a business meeting, an interview, or a conversation in a shop, etc., as if they were doing in a real life. So that's all for today's presentation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.